A Trump-backed conservative candidate narrowly won Colombia's presidential runoff election Sunday. Businessman and lawyer Abelardo de la Espriella has never held public office. The 47-year-old held more than 49% of the initial vote count against his opponent, Ivan Cepeda, an ally of outgoing President Gustavo Petro. De la Espriella's narrow win triggered some demonstrations across the country. The election still needs to be verified, but let's go ahead and chat about it with CBS News correspondent Lilia Luciano following this from the beginning. I love that I got a little head nod of approval.
We've been talking about your pronunciation is excellent.
Okay,
but I mean, we talk in Spanish all the time amongst us, you and I. You were going to ask me something, and I was celebrating your Spanish.
What's up with this? I mean, just what was he campaigning on, and why ultimately did things go in his favor?
So Abelardo de la Espriella is an outsider. He was campaigning on, I mean, locally, and what matters to people most at this moment is security. Security, as has been the case in many countries in Latin America, and that's why you've seen this strong right shift or right-wing wave that has taken over from Chile to El Salvador, of course, before with Bukele, Bolivia, Peru, now Colombia, before it was Milei in Argentina, and El Salvador with Bukele.
Security can have many meanings, so is it crime?
So the thing with Colombia is that in the 4 years of President Petro's presidency, you saw an increase in organized crime, an increase in the cultivation of coca, which is what fuels the activities of these groups. You see, because he had an approach of negotiating with terrorist groups in the hopes that that would prolong a peace process that started 10 years ago with a peace agreement that was signed in 2016. But what has resulted is that the groups have become mightier, they're smaller, they're more violent, there's more extortion, kidnappings, landmines, and so people were terrified. The margin was very small. The other thing that De la Espriella was running on is shrinking the size of government. So you have in some rural areas, indigenous parts of Colombia, places, the income inequality is very wide in Colombia. And so people who had hoped for a continuation of the expansion of social programs were voting for De la Espriella.
So what does this mean for U.S.-Colombia relations?
It means that they are going to get a lot closer. Secretary of State Marco Rubio tweeted, President Trump supported De la Espriella with 3 different social posts. Here we're seeing what Rubio is saying is that what really encapsulates that support. The Trump administration looks forward to working closely. They're working to advance regional security, cooperation, end illegal immigration, and strengthen economic ties. Remember that there were conflicts between the Trump administration and Petro, even though the administration didn't impose as high tariffs, because it seems that they separated the important economic cooperation from the security cooperation. Now we're going to likely see those come together. De la Espriella has promised to really crack down on these organized crime groups. There's obviously fear that when you're fighting them head on, of course, that can increase violence, but a slight margin, less than 1 percentage point, is what we're seeing in that preliminary count. It still needs to be validated, the final count, within the next few days.
Okay, Lilia Luciano, thank you.
Thank you.